I wanted to make this video about the 2018 Oakland A's as they head down the final stretch of their regular season. And what I'm about to discuss are a variety of individual topics. But make no mistake, in fact, maybe this video needs this preface. What I want more than anything else for this group is to get into the postseason, is to win the West so they can avoid a wild card game and really just see what happens in the second season. It has been such a magical turn of events in Oakland since mid-June. This team gained an identity. They started playing out of their minds. Special is one of the many words you can use to describe what we've seen in the East Bay with Bob Melvin's group this year. So, again, to be clear, I want the A's in the playoffs. I want them to make a magical run more than anything else. That being said, there's a trio of individual accomplishments I also think some players and the manager deserve at the Coliseum. I'll begin with the most obvious award and end with the one that maybe you weren't even thinking about. How about Matt Chapman as the A's third baseman? This is his first full big league season, and it should culminate with the reception of a Gold Glove. He has played out of his mind this year at the hot corner. Defensively, start till now, never really a blemish. He's always made the routine plays, and he's made the exceptional plays look routine. I mean, if you need stats, there's plenty of them out there, including defensive runs saved, D-WAR, which is defensive WAR, and the fact that he's almost turned already 30 double plays for this team. But stats and numbers aside, how about just the eye test? Look at Chapman. He doesn't have a weakness at the third base position. If it's a ball down the line, he can get to it. If it's a ball well in foul territory, a pop-up, he'll get to that. If it's in the 5-6 hole, he has no problem. If he needs to take a step back and use his arm for the long throw, he can do it. If he's charging a ball, we've also seen him off balance making great throws to first base. His range, his baseball IQ, his agility, it is also very incredible. The glove, the hand, his arm strength, they're exceptional. We've seen great third basemen in Oakland over the years, from Sal Bando to Carney Lansford to Eric Chavez, even Josh Donaldson included. We understand the standard of great defensive third basemen, and I don't see how Matt Chapman shouldn't get a Gold Glove for his efforts in Oakland this year defensively. Now, what helps him is the fact that he has been the A's hottest bat in the months of July and into August after he got his thumb all healed up. That was something that had been nagging him ever since spring training. He gets healthy, and look what he does with the bat. He starts raking. That should have no immediate impact in a defensive award like the Gold Glove, but let's face it, we all know it does. That's why I think, from all facets, Matt Chapman should be the Gold Glove recipient in the American League at third base this season. All right, let's go from the hot corner to the dugout. Bob Melvin for American League Manager of the Year. Now, you could make several other cases. What's happening in New York with the Yankees and Boston with the Red Sox and new guys coming in, taking over. But really, though, in those two clubs and their situations, isn't that a group living up to expectations? Where in the case of the A's, it is a manager wildly exceeding expectations with his players. If you look at payroll alone, and it's no disrespect to what the A's fielded as a team at the start of the year, because look at how it panned out. I guess the best way to put it with Bob Melvin and the American League Manager of the Year award is, tell me an American League skipper who gets more out of his group than Bo Mel. In 2012, he won this award, and we all know what the A's did back then. That season reminding us very much of the one we're witnessing here in 2018. Understandably, there are other good candidates, but to me, if the A's keep this up, if they're in the postseason, Bob Melvin is a runaway for American League Manager of the Year. All right, and last but not least, here's one that may have not been on your radar because only 9 relief pitchers have won a Cy Young since 1956. You know what I'm getting at here? Blake Trinan and his chase for a Cy Young Award in the American League this season. Now, I understand, and I'm looking at all the stats here with Corey Kluber, the starter, Chris Sale, Trevor Bauer, Justin Verlander, Severino, Carrasco, Snell. Yeah, I know all the names, and I have all their stats here, but Blake Treinen has totally changed the dynamics of his team via their bullpen, because he was the first domino that everything else stood behind as you work your bullpen from the back to the front. Look at Blake Treinen. In 52 appearances this season, has thrown 62 innings. Edwin Diaz, who, by the way, leads the American League in saves at right now with 47, he has 61 appearances and 61 innings pitched. So Blake Treinen, in 9 less appearances, has 1 more inning pitched than the save leader Edwin Diaz. My point on that is the versatility of Blake Treinen. He's not just a 3-out guy. He's a 5 and a 6-out guy a lot of times. His ERA, 0.87, and his saves at 32 right now as I tape this, quite respectable. So, between Treinen, Kimbrel, and Diaz, you have some pretty impressive closers in the American League. But again, Blake Treinen on a winning team, hopefully a playoff team, a guy who has changed the makeup of his team. And I think some of the starters you can say that about as well too. But, does Treinen pitch as many innings as a starter? Well, no, not even close. Kluber right now, for example, has 174 tossed to Treinen's 62. Clearly not even close. But Treinen has more than twice the amount of appearances that Kluber has this year. Kluber at right now 26 games started. So you could say that in more games, Blake Treinen has an impact than a starter, say, like Corey Kluber. Again, that's just my point, and maybe Blake Treinen is more in the conversation than a front-runner for the American League Cy Young Award, but I feel like we should at least notate Treinen in that conversation. So that does it for this video. Let me know what you're thinking about the A's, both as a team and individually. Am I right? Should we get a Gold Glove, a Manager of the Year, and a Cy Young in the East Bay at some point this winter? I'd love your thoughts and comments down below. Hey, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate that. Like this video if you did like it, and check out all the other great stuff I have for you here on YouTube.